Welcome to the 2026 Play for K, benefiting the K Yow Cancer Fund in partnership with the WBCA and the V Foundation. And on this Super Sunday for Blacksburg and Cassell Coliseum, two teams have been playing well over the last month. They battled it out. NC State visits Virginia Tech. Charlie Cream out this morning. 10 teams in the ACC are in. NC State at a 6. Virginia Tech, Clemson, Virginia all in, but part of the last 4 in. Great to have you with us on this Sunday, along with former Florida State guard Angel Gray. I'm Mark Neely. Let's begin with bracketology. NC State solidly in, but if you're Virginia Tech, this is an opportunity at home to get off that last 4-in bubble.
Mark, how about the ACC? As you mentioned, Charlie Cream saying 10, and NC State has done their work all season long. 4th in the standings, one of the best schedules in the country. What an opportunity for the Hokies to win this game here, a quad 1 win that it would classify as, and to continue to say that they remain in the field for the NCAA tournament.
Hokies did lose their 7-game winning streak Thursday against Notre Dame, but Karis Baker did everything she could to try to win that at the end.
Coach Duffy said she is finally stepping into her star status, and she's two-stepping doing it. She has been phenomenal from 3, from everywhere on the floor. Coming off a game with 21 points, 5 threes against Notre Dame. The lucky lefty, I think, is just all working on the other side for Camille Pierre, the double-double queen. Top 5 in scoring in the ACC and leads the league in rebounds. She is averaging a double-double. She's had 7 of them in the last 8. She is a problem in the paint. I'm expecting a lot of emphasis to be on her all over the floor. They have to find an answer for her because she is so active in every area.
So ready to go on this Sunday. Camille Pierre, she's threatening to average a double-double this season.
She has been phenomenal throughout ACC play. If you're going to any shoot-around, any coach that's talking about NC State, the balance that they've had throughout this year, it starts with Camille Pierre and how consistent she has been as a force on the glass and scoring.
Didn't take long for Zoe Brooks, just inside the free throw line. And NC State scores first. The Wolfpack just ambushed Florida State on Thursday night early in that game and ran away with it. These are starting 5 for Tech. Wearing the home white today. There's a drive to the bucket, up and in for the point guard, Mackie Nelson.
Mackie Nelson has been phenomenal in her time here with Virginia Tech. I love that she's been able to learn from great point guards, as in Coach Duffy, as well as Itoro Coleman, and of course, Sharnae Zoll. Who is I'm still trying to get used to seeing her in different Virginia colors.
You see that NC State's wearing the pink. Of course, they're the school that K Yow coached at for so many years. Pierre, that bounced off, and a rebound there for Freelon. Quick shot, Wenzel. Whoa! I tell you what, if you let Carly Wenzel start like that, that could be big trouble for the opposition.
She's on the scouting report for a scorer, and a scorer as in a 3-point shooter. She hit 3 triples against Notre Dame in the first quarter alone.
Now that's where Virginia Tech has to be careful, because Pierre can wear you out down low.
Shoot around, we saw them bringing a double from the weak side. That was one-on-one defense. We'll see if that changes throughout the game.
Baker faces up, turns and shoots off the heel. A deflection, she's able to get her own miss, and now Wenzel tries again and hits another. Carly Wenzel already with 2 made threes, a minute and a half in.
I know we talked about Karis Baker coming off of a 21-point game, but Carly Wenzel was right behind her. I do believe that she finished with 19 points, knocking down her fair share of threes as well.
Another rebound for Kyla Freelon. Wenzel saw an opening, drives, couldn't get it to fall, but will visit the line. Just when you think she's going to shoot a 3rd three, she drives to the rim.
Let's just talk about the bag that she's showing us through the first 2 minutes of play in this ball game. The first 3 that goes down, that was on the wing. Trail 3, I got you there as well as a sniper. And on the wing, as you mentioned, they're going to play tighter on her. You cannot be late closing out on the 3. She puts it off the deck and gets fouled.
You know, in our conversation with Megan Duffy, the head coach before the game, we asked her specifically about Wenzel. Here she is in year 2 as a starter, and the responsibilities heaped upon her in that roll down.
I think it's just overall maturity in the game and understanding with so much production that was gone from the team that she went to the Final Four with. She had to understand what her dominance looked like for this team, and she's finally understanding that as a scorer and facilitator.
Stumbling a bit, Nelson loses it. Got numbers here, but quickly back into the play. That rolls off a Samuels rebound, and she turned one way, then went the other and lays it in.
Caden Samuels, as we were talking with their radio for NC State, was talking about how dominant she could be. Just if you're looking at the numbers across the season, she's had highs, she's had moments of dips. If she gets going and stays consistent, this is a even more dangerous team.
Baker. At a left hand, she scores. She's the lone lefty shooter and scores in the lane.
Now, I don't know if she learned that from her mom or if that was already in her bag, but what a joy it's been to watch her develop and grow as a Hokie.
Yeah, many people think Dad Vin, who spent 15 years in the NBA, was a big influence, but don't discount Mom Mora.
Well, she was a lefty too, so I'm just going to account for all of that itself.
Mom played, and she shot left-handed as well. Here's Wenzel in the lane. Scoop shot, almost got it to roll in, but it's going to go to the corner where it's tracked down by Freeland. Stop, flipped up, and in. Layla Wells. Virginia Tech's hit 5 of their first 7 shots from the field to start today.
The thing that we saw, because we did have the game with NC State and Florida State on Thursday, the thing that set them apart early, as Camille Pierre is able to score at the rim, was their defense. They got stops, they took care of the assignment on that end, and they converted with easier buckets. What I just saw in that last defensive series cannot continue if they want to walk away from this arena with a win.
Dangerous. The long arms of Tilda Trieger up ahead. Cadence lost her shoe, scores, but traveled. Apparently the travel move cost her one of those pink shoes.
Well, Mosh Forsberg, come on. I mean, she lost her shoe. Just a little slippage there, you know?
I almost have to see that again, because just losing your shoe doesn't bring the whistle. There must have been an additional step or two. First turnover of the day. Long look there by Layla Wells. Wenzel. As soon as she saw Pierre back off, she launched it and was a little long.
Yeah, the communication has to be on where she is on the floor. There cannot be any daylight given to Wenzel.
Here's Pierre, and she scores.
She can go over the left shoulder. She can go over the right shoulder. If she had 3, she'd do that too. That's how dominant and how crafty she is in the paint.
Virginia Tech turns it over, and you see Wes Moore, of course, with his connection to Coach Yao there at NC State. Now he's in year 13 as the head coach, his 37th year overall as the head coach. Trieger. Deflected a hand on that by Baker, so it's going to stay with the Wolfpack. Of course, Megan Duffy in her second season after taking over for Kenny Brooks. And it was her alma mater, Notre Dame, that ended their 7-game winning streak the other night.
Sometimes that hurts, I know.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I mean, she has a 70% win percentage as head coach. And to make the WBIT last year, she said they have a chip on their shoulder coming into this year, and they're trying to put themselves in a position to make the field for the NCAA.
That was blocked away by Zam Jones, and that's going to take us to a timeout. Pretty good start for each team. A 3-point lead for Tech early from Blacksburg. Well, it's not hard to find a hill in this part of the country, but this part of the country on the eastern side of the United States has had a brutal winter, and that has brought some snow. Plenty of snow to do a little sledding on this Sunday. Here's your ACC standings. Duke alone unbeaten after that win over Louisville earlier in the week. NC State right there, and you got Virginia Tech at 8-4. When you can just construct it that way, it just kind of shows you the congestion in the middle of the standings.
Absolutely. We talked about it in the last game of just about 4 teams that were at that point 8-3 in the field. And so it comes down to the last 2 weeks of play for ACC standings. Obviously, the first 15 are able to go to the conference tournament, but also a couple teams working on that double bye. And that's the most important thing. Just if you look at the records and how many teams have been able to win the actual title, you want that double bye.
Pierre fadeaway, did not draw iron, but it goes out of bounds and to Tech.
And because you talked about the snow getting into this place, I just can't believe how cold it has been today, and I'm so excited for the amount of heat that we've seen on the floor today.
Yes.
Did you like that, Mark?
I did like that.
A lot of hot
All the
shooting.
heat we can take. Heard the applause for Samaya Suffren, who's checked in. She's been a super sub off the bench. Great production. Freelon. One and done that time for the Hokies. 4 minutes left in this first quarter from Blacksburg. Step back. Sam Jones, who was absolutely on fire Thursday night against Fresno State. And now she and her teammates have missed their last 4 from the field.
And we saw Sam Jones that was very good against Florida State. Had the first, 10 of the first 12 points. And on the other side for Samaya Suffren, it's just been the boost. Everyone talks about it. Nice kiss off the glass. Can't even get my point out about Suffren and how good she's been in her boost off the bench. But with her on the floor, the production goes through the roof.
It's almost like Carly Wenzel said, no, Angel, put the spotlight back on me today.
I don't mind it. You hit shots like that, no problem.
Wenzel has 9 points to lead all scorers. Nelson feeds Freelon. Wenzel. She'll use that screen. Try to go over the top to Freelon. Trieger there, but it does not prevent Kyla Freelon.
I just feel like she just plays taller, bigger than what she is labeled as. That's over 6'6". And she's standing at 6'1". I love the target that she gave her point guard.
Yeah, out of the hand, it looked like that's a pretty risky pass, but it found its target. And it's given Tech a 7-point lead. Pierre trying to go back to work. Man, you know, how do you defend that?
You don't. You only pray.
That's usually not a good strategy for winning. It doesn't hurt, I guess. But there's the bucket for Freelon again, and she's coming alive here with a couple of hoops here in the last minute or two.
She's putting up her career best averages this season. The transfer from Texas Tech. I love what Coach talked about her as well, just finding her way and trusting the process in the program.
Kaishi. Lunin. Bam.
That was very Kyrie-esque, if I may. And, of course, that's her nickname, Kaishi, her dad, that gave her that nickname because of her style of play.
Lunin keeps creeping higher with her three-point shooting percentage, getting closer to 40%. It's off the rim from Suffren. And the Pack will try to cut into this 4-point deficit that was 7 a few moments ago. There's a scoop shot and bucket. Sam Jones.
You mentioned her start against Florida State, where she outscored Florida State in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, Sam Jones, that was her first bucket of this game. She was 1 point off a career high Thursday against Florida State. She had 25. She passes off this time. Good ball movement. Brooks behind the back. Oh, wow. I tell you what, that possession right there, you mark that one. That was pretty.
It's clipped already with these new gadgets that they have on the bench. I am pretty sure of it, but Zoe Brooks is a facilitator. I know that we talked about how Camille Pierre is the anchor for them. Well, I absolutely still believe she is the engine.
There's Freelon playing bigger than the 6'1" that you just mentioned right there. Baker helping out as well.
So look at this move, the step back, the pull, the lefty, another one drops down for Kaishi, but Zoe Brooks behind the back, the dish, 10 out of 10 for Zoe Brooks. And I know, speaking with Wes Moore too, we talked about how she creates that balance of being a scorer and facilitator. Said she is a pass first type of guard, wants to get others involved. She is the connector and the glue of this team.
Missed them both that time. So a 77% foul shooter, Baker came up empty. So now here's NC State looking to take the lead. On a 7-0 run over about the last minute and a half, but aren't going to get a shot this time.
Against who? Freelon. Who may have answered the prayer for coaches, because when you're standing there saying you're not going to get past me on the high leg, and when I say that, it's finding that top leg of the defender and passing her. The slide, the defense, the contest was perfect.
Freelon has 7 rebounds, and we're in the final seconds of the first quarter. Well, the Hokies looking to hold it for the final shot. Got Trent in the game. All right, Trent trying to get downhill. Wenzel down to 2 seconds, down to 1 at the buzzer. Won't go. 2 looks there, including the last one for Kyla Freelon, and we are tied at the end of a quarter. 9 points for Wenzel, leading the way, both sides in that first quarter. Hey, we have gymnastics going on this Super Sunday a little bit later here on ACC Network. It's the Tobacco Road rivalry between 12th ranked North Carolina and number 22 NC State. That's 4 Eastern here on ACC Network. We get ready to start the second quarter. You know, as we went to break, I forgot about Pierre. How could I forget that? She had 10 points in the first quarter.
I'm not quite sure, because she has been phenomenal to start this ball game. I mean, she comes in this one averaging a double-double. The thing that we know that she has, okay, she's checked the box for points. She has gone against Freelon on the defensive end, but her activity on the glass is what's the most important thing. She creates so many second-chance opportunities for her team.
Mel Daly certainly can produce off the bench for Virginia Tech, and she hits her first bucket.
Yeah, another transfer coming out of Northwestern that's been huge for Coach Duffy and the Hokies. I mean, this is a team that is really played with the chip on their shoulder and has more balance than what people give them credit for.
Second bucket for Zoe Brooks. There's another jumper. That's good. This time it's Suffren, so the 2 players off the bench, Suffren and Daly, have each hit back-to-back shots and into the streak as Tech had missed their last 5 from the field prior to that.
Yeah, it's the pace in which Virginia Tech plays. You think you get a bucket and can trot back, you can't. You have to sprint back and understand that they're not just looking for layups. They have weapons on the perimeter as well.
Daly brings it ahead this time. Wenzel barking out instructions. Uses the screen on Trent, but that's going to go the other way. A moving screen on Anaya Trent.
That's our first personal foul. First team foul.
4th turnover for Tech. There's Baker.
Number 10,
a slow start for her, just a couple points so far, 3 shots. But as she showed against Notre Dame, she has a way of being there for her team when she is most needed.
It's so many different players. You can say that down the line and down the roster for Virginia Tech. They went into South Bend. Great take by Zoe Brooks. But went into South Bend, had the lead the majority of the first quarter. And a great start, and only lost by 10 on the road.
You know, it's interesting. We've seen North Carolina State a number of times, including on Thursday against Florida State when Zam Jones came out. It just really set the tone for the game. But we have seen Zoe Brooks do that same thing at different times this year.
Zoe Brooks, to me, is a player that coming into the season I was expecting a lot from and a lot on her shoulders because of who she was able to learn from just a year ago. You have Isaiah James, you have Sanaya Rivers, where she said, I learned how to be a little mean in a nice way to her teammates and being the leader. So as much as I want to see her in the output offensively, she does and checks so many boxes for NC State this year.
And you saw how well they have played on the road, seeing a couple of her teammates. That's a travel charge to Suffren, and that's 5 turnovers now for Virginia Tech.
And their flow offensively looks a lot different. So I'm not sure if it's their tentative is just playing, you know, in the last few possessions, or if it's NC State after the timeout saying we got to be a little bit better in the high gap and causing them some confusion on the take.
This is Maddie Cox, who's checked into the game, number 11. Down low for Pierre. Her pass winds up. Brooks again on the take, and she gets fouled. So she had just been to the line for NC State's first free throws of the game, and she'll go right back there.
Gentle reminder, she also had a program best 20 free throws that she attempted in a game this season as well, knocking down 19 of them. When she gets 2 feet in the paint, she's lights out.
And at the line, number 35, Zoe Brooks shooting 2.
Now that is a rare thing right there, the miss. She came in shooting 85% from the line, and she actually was just okay from the line to begin the season. It's been magnificent, really, for over the last month. So even just splitting the pair there is rare for her. So a lead for NC State. Only led for about 30 seconds of the game so far. That was almost swatted away by Brooks.
Look at the activity, the digs, the flybys.
Tough shot for Baker, goes long. And that was just tremendous defense by NC State that had Tech all sped up. And now this time, Mackie Nelson says, I can play some D too.
Yeah, that looked great. On the NC State side, though, that's what we were talking about. Flying by, creating the chaos. That was perfect defense as a unit.
Brooks, 16-footer. Getting in the lane, floating it up. It kicks off for Wells. And they run it out here with Kaishi.
I like the take. I just want there to be more ball movement. And I know Coach Duffy is mentioning how the ball has to move and have energy and shoot around like that.
Devin Quigley, sophomore, New Jersey, off the bench. A 4-point lead for State, their largest of the game.
She just subbed in. That's when your number is called stay ready, knocking down the 3.
NC State started 2-9 from the field today. They've hit 8 of their last 14 since then. And a tough angle for Nelson.
Just feel like in the last 2 possessions, the Hokies are forcing the issue offensively instead of going with what we saw at the beginning of the game, in which it's finding the right play. And Zoe Brooks for NC State has been the right play in this ball game. I mean, she's finished on the left, the right, mid-range, dishing it, putting on a clinic.
Pack on an 8-0 run, looking to extend that here and do so. Make it a 10-0 run. Timeout, Virginia Tech.
We have an official timeout on the floor.
What do we have?
NC State has come alive offensively and defensively here in Blacksburg.
Zoe Brooks digs in, is able to get the nice dish on the inside as well. Just 1 of 1, Zoe Brooks.
And Ava, who is represented by the colors back there.
We are honored to have this game as one of the Play for K games, and you can donate to the K-Yow Cancer Fund by going online. Donate at kyao.com. The K-Yow Cancer Fund, a partnership with the WBCA and the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
Raised over $508,000 during their Play for K game against UNC. And to see so many people celebrated, so many women celebrated being in remission, is just, it touches your heart. And I'm hoping that more people continue to give to such a great cause, can absolutely save someone's life, and more than likely someone that is close to you as well.
Or yourself.
Or yourself.
That was the Monday game. NC State fell to North Carolina in a 1-possession game on Monday. Very emotional game. The Reynolds Coliseum was on ESPN. Winslow ends the scoring drought for Virginia Tech from the free throw line. He's into double-figure scoring now, leading Tech with 11. Pierre and Brooks have 21 of the 31 for NC State. I'm going to say that's touched by Nelson. You could arguably say that the 10-0 run that NC State went on was really spurred by their defense.
You can say it and I'd believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
we witnessed it on full display, how everyone was connected, forced Virginia Tech to take really difficult shots, a lot of one-on-one play. Hopefully they've learned something in the last huddle.
Catch and shoot, that's up. Not there for Suffren.
But it's a better look. It's an open look. You allow yourselves to get back and set up in your half-court defense.
Well, they got the free throws from Winslow, but it's been over a 4-minute field goal drought now for Virginia Tech. Jones feeds Pierre. She faces up, trying to back down Freelon. 2 to shoot. Man, I just don't know what you do if you're trying to defend Camille Pierre.
You can try to push her up the line, as in the free throw line, moving her up to that area.
Just trying to end that field goal drought, and looked like Winslow had a clean lane to the bucket, but couldn't get it to fall, and it's going back to NC State.
I mean, 2 feet out of the paint, doesn't put it off the floor, connects in the right spot on the box to drop it in. It's almost like you have to force her to, you want to play up, you have to bring a double at some point, or she's going to have 30.
Well, she's on pace for that. She's got 14, and we're 4.5 minutes away from halftime.
I'm sorry, 40.
That's for Virginia Tech, that's your fear right now.
That is your worst nightmare. The greatest thing that could possibly be done is seeing her walk to the bench to get a blow. But at this point, then you sub in 6'6" Tilda Trieger, who can extend the floor. Very good with blocking in the paint as well.
So without Pierre on the floor, Jones takes it to the rim, but Freelon touched it last, so it's going to remain with the Pack. This 8-point lead is the largest of the game for NC State. Quigley. It's a long 2 for Trieger.
So I just mentioned this, Mark. Tilda Trieger, even standing in her stature at 6'6", has a soft touch and loves the baseline shot, can step out for the 3 as well. It comes down to how you make her play a little bit more physical, force her to take some looks in the paint.
Brooks got a quick blow. She's coming back in for NC State, taking Loonan's spot. What is an answer here for Virginia Tech as the offense is kind of going off the rails here in this second quarter?
I would say, as Megan Duffy said at shoot around, I need to see a pass, or a paint touch before there is an attempt for a shot.
Facing up, Baker turns to shoot. Just hasn't been able to get that shot to fall yet today.
But that's great offense. I mean, what more do you want? It's a one-on-one attempt with Karis Baker on the block.
Already a 10-point lead. That's blocked away by Freelon. 3.5 minutes to go in this first half.
I think that's the biggest thing. You don't want to bend on the defensive end. You don't want to compromise what you look like on the defensive end as Freelon blocks that out of bounds. Just because your shots have not been falling on the offensive side, do not lose the energy on the opposite end.
Well, Virginia Tech was up 19-12. That was their largest lead. Since then, you got a 23-13 run, and that's going to be offensive. Very slow getting up. Nelson does get to her feet.
Might have taken a little hit coming down, as that was an offensive foul by Zoe Brooks. But Mackie Nelson has really showed me something on the defensive end. She has the assignment for Zoe Brooks, but also had Kai Shi as well. and was able to knock it out of bounds with her stellar crossovers, really taking up space defensively.
3 missed by Nelson, and then Freeline goes over the back of Trieger.
Virginia Tech foul on number 0, Kyla Freeland. That is her first personal foul. 5th team foul.
Virginia Tech has gone almost 6.5 minutes without a made field goal.
At the line, number 18, Tilda Trieger, shooting 2.
Let's take a look at Wednesday night's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader. Number 20 Clemson hosts Virginia Tech, starting us off at 7 Eastern, and then Wake Forest squares off against Georgia Tech at the Cambridge Pavilion. Both of those games also available on the ESPN app.
I tell you what, my screen time is, my phone is probably like, you need to take a break.
It is hoop season,
though,
man.
hoop season.
It's going to happen.
The games last night were insane, seeing even an ACC play with Duke and North Carolina. And the double court storming was pretty impressive.
It was a busy day on the men's side yesterday. Obviously, that North Carolina-Duke game, that finish at the Dean Dome was incredible.
Unbelievable. Excited for another big game, too. I'll be heading to Kansas to watch some good basketball with Arizona and Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. My first time being in that arena.
Really?
Yes.
You will love it. You will love it. It's impossible not to. Zam Jones.
Oof.
Underneath. Pierre lays it in.
They are putting on a point guard clinic between Zam Jones and Zoe Brooks. Understanding when the help side comes, when and where to dish. And it's been right in the pocket since it is Sunday, football Sunday.
Nice. Tied up. Possession arrow.
Jump ball. Possession to the Hokies.
Virginia Tech.
And checking in number 21.
Zam Jones, perfect dish with pulling over Freelon on the baseline. Not enough of a high hedge on the wing side by Mackie Nelson, which caused that breakdown on the backside of the defense.
About 2 minutes to go in the first half. Wenzel rims out. And they're getting some open looks. That one, though, was from, what, about 15, 16 feet out.
These fans are getting antsy to see their team finally get a bucket.
And just like that, Zam Jones knocks down another, and the lead balloons to 42-25.
11-0 run, and they are outscoring Virginia Tech 23-6 in this quarter.
That's 9 straight misses from the field for Virginia Tech. Trieger, good defense. Freeline came right in at the right spot with some help defense to take it away.
But that's what's been the difference, and finally,
a transition bucket ends the drought.
An easy field goal because of the activity. The high post touch, the dish underneath to Freeline diving in. They need a lot more of that in the second half.
That field goal drought lasted 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Almost the entire second quarter. Tech foul, and that put Brooks back at the line.
Yeah, we're in the bonus with, what, 4 minutes left in the second quarter? I mean, what boxes has not NC State checked so far in the first half?
She knocks down both free throws. Boy, bodies crashing in the lane. Quigley,
NC State foul, number 0,
Baker, both off the deck.
First personal foul. 14th foul.
You look like a bowling alley for a second with so many bodies bouncing around in the paint.
Dropping everywhere. Got about a 3-second difference, shot clock, game clock. Wenzel 4 to shoot. Guarded closely there, gets a screen. Down to 2, down to 1, and Pierre will just take a couple dribbles and take us to the half. Boy, what a second quarter for NC State.
Virginia Tech only shot 18% from the floor, 3 for 16. That has to be an adjustment, but NC State has remained very focused in the first half as they are very good on the road.
So 44-27, NC State leading at the break. Let's send you to the studio. Ari Chambers, Kelly Dale, Liz Kitley, all standing by. Guys, take it away.
Hey, ladies.
Welcome to the ACC Network Halftime Report. Next to me, I have national champ from Notre Dame, Kelly Dale, and then I guess my rival for today.
We're fighting.
Yeah. Hokies legend, Liz Kitley. Listen, as they went into the second quarter, NC State and Virginia Tech neck and neck, they're tied, right? The NC State was able to pull them separation, and it was under a lot of Camille Pierre. Kelly, what do you see from her?
And no surprise there, especially as we are post-heavy on this broadcast. Camille Pierre is dominating inside the paint. 16 points, 8 boards, and she's getting a lot of help from her guards, getting her the ball, but she is making herself available, using her body, getting in good position. It seems effortless for her inside, but that is exactly what they have needed to get this lead going into the second half.
Yeah, and this is a really good sign for NC State, too, because Camille Pierre is a player that's scored below her average in the last 2 games, shooting around 36%. So for her to be efficient and a go-to player right now is great for them, and it's serving them well. Also a testament to NC State. They're playing together a lot more than they have the last 2 games. Offensively, of course, they have so many 1v1 pieces that are so talented, and Zoe Brooks, Sam Jones, Camille Pierre as well. But when they move the ball and finish that with a strong move from one player, they have a lot higher success.
Well, Camille Pierre is averaging 16 points on the season, and currently she is sitting at 16 points at the half, so I anticipate a nice little night for her. But on the flip side, we have Carly Wenzel, and you were telling us before the game that's somebody to look out for. Liz, why should we be able to look out for Carly Wenzel?
Well, Carly Wenzel is such a talented, you mentioned 1v1, or I did. Again, that's her. She's so good at that. She is also really active with her team, a talented player, a go-to player for them in the first quarter. Of course, Virginia Tech had about a 6-minute drought without a field goal, so she wasn't getting as many active possessions there, but she's so good at getting to the free throw line. She's done that well. When she's hitting threes, she's an entirely different player, a huge threat from out there, opens up her downhill game. She's been doing really well with that, especially again in the first quarter when they were neck and neck. Needs to get back to her a little bit in the second quarter if they want to have a chance.
Mm-hmm. And I think what Virginia Tech needs right now is just some other players to step up. You've got Wenzel in double figures, but the next highest is just 4 points. Freelon needs to get going offensively. She's done an excellent job on the boards, and I think she's kind of keeping these possessions alive. But you've got Karis Baker, too, right? Somebody who's been playing really well as of late, and I would love to see her step up. And obviously, that's probably the message right now from Coach Duffy. You know, we need to play some better team basketball. They're not shooting the ball well right now, just 31% from the field. They have had some games where they were getting the 3-ball to go. They need more of that. Only 2 in this first half.
Both of these teams are fighting for a nice situation going into the postseason. But just a little history lesson before we talk about the top of the standings. Liz, you won your last 4 versus NC State, so I mean, shout out to you. But let's take a look at the top half of the standings. A lot of teams are still in the mix for the 4 double byes. Duke alone in the first with this 1-point win. Liz, you were talking about the heartbreak of that, honey. At Louisville on Thursday, NC State and Syracuse currently hold the other spots in the top 4. As for our game, Carly Wenzel hits the pull-up jumper. She's got 11 points already tonight. More to come after this. And then here we have it. Camille Pierre leading the Wolfpack with 16 points. NC State up 17 at the half. Back to Blacksburg after the break.
Welcome back to the 2026 Play for K, benefiting the K-Yow Cancer Fund in partnership with the WBCA and the V Foundation. Getting ready to start the second half from snowy Blacksburg. A look at Burris Hall. 44-27, NC State. Glad to have you with us, along with Andrew Gray. I'm Mark Neely. Let me set this up. It was 19-12, a 7-point lead for Virginia Tech with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. What happened? Because from that point, NC State just took off.
The Wolfpack hunted shots in the second quarter. They outscored them 25-8 in that frame, and they could do no wrong from the field. They shot 61% from the field, 66% from the three-point line. That is just getting people involved, and they were very good at it.
Yeah, they were kind of like experts at work, and that reminds me, here, let's get you to today's Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal.
Well, here's starting with the defensive side for what the Hokies need to do better. The late help, causing the cross-court help to be late. And then again, Zam Jones, I do believe, on the dish, is able to find Camille Pierre. 2 of her 16 points that she was able to finish with in the first half. She was phenomenal because of how the point guards were able to free her up with easy looks underneath.
Winslow had a couple of quick threes, finished with 11 to lead Virginia Tech. And as Kelly and Liz mentioned there at the half, Tech definitely needs to find some other support scores for them to try to get back in this game. Down 17, NC State as the first possession of the second half.
Mark, to be fair, I mean, support scores would be great, but your leading scores have to step up too. They missed a lot of easy buckets to start the quarter.
And NC State picks up right where they left off. To your point, Virginia Tech had only one made field goal in the last 9.5 minutes.
And by the way, they were getting the looks. I mean, some of them in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter were forced. Great job by the Wolfpack in their defense. The second half of it, they were getting the looks, but in and out. They cannot think about the shots that are missed, but find different ways to find connection. And this is a great one, finding second chance and third chance opportunities.
Baker started it and finished it with some help from Freelon, and Virginia Tech scores on their first possession of the third quarter. Trieger, pocket pass. Good ball movement again. The extra pass to Zam Jones. She'll penetrate, scoop, and a rebound for Baker.
I thought that was one pass too many. However, I'm not opposed to the take by Zam Jones. On the other side, Winslow, who was hot in the first quarter, knocked down 2 threes in 2 minutes. Can we get more of that production in the third?
And she has 13 points.
Charlie Winslow, one of their leading scorers on this team, didn't have any points in the second quarter.
Only an 8-point second quarter for Virginia Tech. Got outscored 25-8 when the game was tied at 19 after 1. And another chance to cut into the deficit, which is at 15. A Baker 3, in and out. Virginia Tech now 2 for 8, by the way, 3-point shooting.
Karis Baker, 2 for 8 from the field, a player that came off of a game with 21 points and 5 threes. Does that change moving forward?
Pierre, fade away, big rainbow, did not draw iron.
And that's a different defensive look from the Hokies, forcing Pierre to make a decision with the double.
Winslow 3. 2 quick threes, last 2 times down the floor for Virginia Tech. They hit their first 2 threes from Winslow. They've missed their last 7. Behind the back, spinning, flipping it up, in and out, got her own miss, and we'll go to the line.
There are moments calling the games for NC State where you look for the popcorn when Zoe Brooks has the ball. The amount of creativity, the in and out behind the black, splitting the 2, going over 3, misses the first attempt and tried to tip it in on the second one that keeps her at the free throw line. It's her level of creativity, it's the swag in which she plays. You got to be a happy camper when you have Zoe Brooks on your squad.
You know, we've had this conversation about Zoe in the past where there are some games where the scoring total is not very high, but you look at assists and everything else she does. It looked like she came out today like, hey, Zam, you had the big scoring game last time out. I'm going to bring it today.
She fills the gaps. She covers for so many different people on the floor.
Tech trying to find a little something creation-wise, and that's tied up. Shot attempt by Suffren. It's going to stay with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, there was a moment for Samaya Suffren where she beat the first layer for getting that screen by Freelon and met 6'6". Tried to up and under it, but there are other ways to Nash and get more people involved on the offense.
Bounces it in, and it's kissed in off the glass by Kyla Freelon. Get it back down to 15, which is as close as they've been in this second half. Pierre takes the contact from Freelon.
I mean, the work was done early by Camille Pierre, and that's the greatest thing that you can do as a post player. You don't want to do your work when you get the ball. You want to make sure that you establish yourself so when the guards get you the rock, you go to work.
NC State hasn't had a field goal in about 3 minutes, but they've been getting to the line, and Pierre continues that. He's been a double-double machine, because she averages double.
To say the least. I mean, 15 double-doubles on the season. That's consistency, and it's not something where the team is like, all right, she's got it, we're going to run. She's fighting for these rebounds. Her level of effort has been very impressive. And to be quite frank, sometimes it looks like it doesn't take much for her. That's how good she is.
At least to start this third quarter, the Virginia Tech offense is looking more like it did to begin the game.
I mean, they've already matched their points in this quarter to the one that they had in the second.
Trieger uses that 6'6" frame to get to the rim. And the turnover.
We mentioned just for Carly Winsel and how a lot of people have been able to play her, knowing that she's going to let the ball go and trying to get more players involved. The one thing I think there is room for improvement is understanding when to attack, and if nothing is there, the retreat dribble. Too many times she's getting herself in a position where it's causing turnovers because of the decision making in the paint.
Pierre, nice cut, but that time couldn't finish it. Wells looking for somewhere to go with it, gives it to Carly Winsel. Screen for Baker, she rolls. The shot is a three from Winsel, well off the left side. Scooped up by Caden Samuels. And here comes Brooks. What's she got in mind this time? She gives it to Zam, but Jones three, good. Timeout, Virginia Tech. Well, they kept him quiet for about 2 minutes here in this third quarter, but NC State back to scoring quickly.
My, oh my, do the Wolfpack look good. The dish to Zam Jones. Another one, knocks it down, let her cook.
She believed in one more rep, one more play, one more fight together. Coach Kay Yao faced her battle against cancer the same way she coached, with courage, faith, and relentless perseverance. The power of one more fuels coaches, fans, and communities to step up one more time and change the game, just like Coach Yao.
And we play for Kay again today. We play for Kay games. Look at Mackenzie Mackey Nelson, the servant leader representing the Hokies, the servant leader award recipients. You see the prerequisites for those, and Coach Duffy was telling us about the essay that Mackey put together for that, and she said, you know, I read it and it was just absolutely poignant, moving, and she was the perfect person to be the servant leader.
Yeah, just excellent. And when you put others before yourself, that is what that means. And understanding, you know, what she is in the community. And that was the first thing that Coach Duffy mentioned, and how she is as a teammate and what she wants to be as a leader for this group. She checks all the boxes, and it's really cool to see how Kay Yao and that legacy of being a servant leader continues.
Suffering with the nice feed and in transition. Laid in there by Kyla Freelon.
I like the energy coming out of the timeout. What are they going to get? A stop and score in transition. We haven't seen a lot of that from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. When the few opportunities they've had, they've been very successful. That pass rejected and swatted away by Wells. Another chance in transition. Suffering lost the handle. And it's taken away by Zam Jones. Feeds Zoe. Brooks, quick pass. Cadence underneath. The crowd there, and Pierre couldn't come up with it. She took some contact from behind, but it'll be a Virginia Tech ball. So 4:06 to play, third quarter from Blacksburg. Tech trying to hang in. They're down 55-37. So back in Blacksburg.
Oh, yeah.
Cassell Coliseum. And if you got to dance, you got to dance.
Now, are you just dancing because you love the game, or is it your jam, you know?
It could
Maybe
be
a little
either
Bad
of those
Bunny?
things. Could be either of those things.
I'm so ready. So ready.
Down 18 here on this Super Sunday is Virginia Tech.
Beautiful kick. Beautiful execution. Karis Baker coming off her strong side on the left, so you have to play her honest. And kicks it out to Wenzel, who has not had it to create her own shot. She needs more looks where it's just catching and shooting.
She has 16. NC State's turned it over on their last 3 possessions. That has allowed Tech to pull within 15.
Up as many as 20 points. Westmore talked about the emphasis of Zam Jones doing Zam Jones things. Knocks down another triple, but Westmore really challenged his team, saying, yes, we had a decent win over Florida State. However, he was not pleased with how they played in the second half, letting up. If they want to take the next step, it's finding ways to stay consistent in their dominance.
And now it's Virginia Tech that turns it over. Pierre going in. Was a little bit off balance. Now they got numbers here. Long 2. Missed by Suffern and a rebound by Cox. Brooks gets ahead of steam. At the last moment, blocked away by Layla Wells. Right when it seemed like Brooks had an opportunity to get to the rim.
Going back to this drive and kick. Winslow not only just standing in one spot, it's a relocation. And Zam Jones coming back, responding with a 3 of her own. Tell you what, we have not lacked a good offensive, like, 3-pointing performance for NC State.
Brooks, after another Tech turnover, is fouled and will go to the line.
You know what I love about that, Mark?
What's that?
About 6 seconds ago, she got blocked, it went off of her arm, and it gave it back to Virginia Tech. She picked her up at half court and said, I'm taking this back. Got the steal, and we'll get back to her favorite part of the game, and that's the free throw line.
She took it personally, you're saying?
I think so, just a tad bit.
She's 7 of 8 from the line today. NC State as a team 11 of 12. Thursday night at 10 Eastern, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC. Highlights and analysis of every women's game. Got you covered all season here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Lead back to 20 for the Wolfpack. Hitting downhill, kicking it off the rim. It will not go for Daly. Another opportunity. Baker, will this 3 go? Just a hair long. And another offensive board, this time for Suffern.
You can't track those in the box score. The activity.
Ooh.
Tough.
Tough blocking foul on Pierre, who took the brunt of that. She's slow getting up. I mean, Suffern was coming in full speed.
Yeah, she's no breaks on the floor.
That's a tough foul to take if you're Pierre. He's like, yeah, I may need a minute here.
What I saw was her definitely took the
definitely
hit.
a block, yeah.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. But did land, if you're continuing to look at the end on that stanchion and floor area, so was rubbing at that right hip. Hopefully get a little stretch in, it should be okay.
Well, second team foul of this quarter for NC State. Just a minute 43 to go in the third. Carly looking from the free throw line. Scores.
There was just this bounce within that flow where she said, I'm going to get to the spot you're playing off. It's not in my face. And took a nice look at the mid-range.
NC State almost turned it over there, but Jones wasn't the intended recipient of the pass, but came up with it, and she shoots another three. Long pass goes ahead. Daly. And this time Lunan there defensively to take the foul.
Daly, when she rises, almost has this hang time. I don't know, like a Rebecca Brunson, if you're thinking about like players, I know the stature isn't the same. If I'm doing a comp on the men's side, it would probably be Kawhi. Just her hang time in the air on the baseline is so impressive. She's just so athletic.
It is a true jump shot.
It's a jump and jump higher shot.
Yes.
Kind of like yours. I've seen it.
The vertical's not near as high as it used to get, but yeah. That was close. Officials looking at one another. Coach is looking at her help on the sideline, and she says, yeah, we want to. Right as that ball was coming in, she signaled that she wanted to challenge it, but apparently too late. Brooks broke free, got a step, lays it in.
She's so sneaky quick.
Wenzel came crashing in at an offensive foul. That's Cox that takes the charge.
Yeah, I like seeing her on the floor, but going back to this dish is setting it up for not only Zam Jones, but also Zoe Brooks. You have to be able to take your player high. You play her too high, you're overplaying her on the top side, which means the back door is open with no help. Thought she can get it again, but this time the help was there. And then the kick dish to Trieger.
Trieger couldn't finish it that time.
I mean, this is high IQ basketball that we're seeing from Zoe Brooks and Zam Jones.
Well, you can just look Zoe in the eyes. And I was just about to say, she had her in her sights. She is just locked in.
She's like Debo on Friday. She's
yeah,
gonna
and that
take
Debo
her
was
bike,
a bully.
take the very big bully.
Yeah.
And 2 points for you, Mark, in my book.
I've seen that movie a million times. I know who Debo is. You don't mess with Debo. She's got the look at Debo going right now.
Absolutely. I mean, she's been phenomenal in this ball game.
Wenzel was able to move past Brooks that time. But a quick outlet with the quarter coming to an end. And a pretty good shot for midcourt. And NC State maintaining the sizable lead, 64-45.
Zoe Brooks with 5 rebounds, but what I love most about her game right now, the 19 points, including these two saying, I'll take those cookies.
We welcome you back to this 2026 Play for K game benefiting the K-Yow Cancer Fund in partnership with the WBCA and the V Foundation. See some of the Tech players who they are playing for. You can support the K-Yow Cancer Fund. You can donate at kyow.com. If you were still playing today, who would you play for?
That's sign right there. Just her, everyone.
Yep.
And you think about so many people that are affected by this horrible, horrible thing called cancer. And just to see the amount of love, support, the good days, the bad days. I was fortunate enough to play against, well, actually, I was on the bench. I had a torn ACL. But to play against K-Yow and see her fight and the team's fight, I always say it felt like we were playing against 1 or 2 extra players on the floor because it was bigger than us. And she got her 600th win over, yes, Florida State because of how much they fought for her. So when I'm looking at the jerseys for NC State and I see on the back not the names of their last names, but courage, faith, fight, resilience, all these things, that embodies what K-Yow was.
Amen. Yep. kyow.com. where you can donate. You see the NC State jersey. We saw them wear this a few weeks ago at Boston College.
I'd like to know the what is the win percentage in these jerseys?
You'd have to ask their SID.
I'll ask. I'll figure this out.
Get Kylie to figure that out for us. By the way, Virginia Tech trying to add a little different look. Sophie Swanson's come in. Kale Peterson has come in. First time for them in this game. Sophie hadn't played in the last 3 games. Here she is. Swanson uses the left hand. Bullet pass. And Mackie Nelson. 1 minute gone here in the 4th quarter. Brooks wanting to get it to Trigger, but she is in a battle right there with Freelon.
Well, one player that has continued to impress me has been Freelon. I think just her activity on the backside, she's made it really difficult for post players to get an easy look.
Very nice defense by Kale Peterson, holding her ground. Hope that shot not get to the rim. Swanson using Freelon's screen. A pass just as Peterson looked up to maybe set a screen. Went past her, and that's her 13th turnover.
So it's how you move past it. Right now, NC State has 11 points off of the 13 turnovers for Virginia Tech. I know it's been a tough go and really trying to find that chemistry and that energy on the offensive side. But how does it come down to getting the stops? And we've seen a lot of different looks from them, this more in the zone look.
Brooks' shot bounces around and off.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of the zone, and of course Zoe Brooks darting out like lightning.
And another timeout for Virginia Tech.
I mean, Zoe Brooks is the first, second, third, and possibly 4th option. And it's not even forcing it. NC State there. The pick 6 for Zoe Brooks. Easy money on this football Sunday.
Zoe Brooks has a career-high 5 steals, 23 points now to lead all scores. Let's take a peek at the standings. Duke alone unbeaten. NC State, they're gunning for conference win number 10. Virginia Tech in danger of falling at home for just the 3rd time this year. They lost to Duke back on December 7th and New Year's Day to Miami here.
Yeah, really big game for them. We talked at the top of the game of this being a quad 1 win possibility. I mean, NC State had other things in mind. But as far as what Virginia Tech has been able to do, I mean, we talked about it, the last 4 and 3 of the teams are for the ACC. So, yes, they want to see more of that in the final 7-20. But for Virginia Tech, this is a team that's really put on a great body of work. Their last few games, we talked about the 7-game win streak. They can also get a big one here, but a really nice win over Syracuse and Clemson. Now, if I'm thinking big picture, I'm going back and I'm looking and keeping my eyes on that Virginia and Notre Dame game. Virginia remains in with a win over Notre Dame today. We talked about the last 4 and 3 of the teams being from the ACC. Now, Notre Dame could drop to a number 9, which you said you don't want to drop to that number.
No, you don't want 8
with
or 9.
a loss. So there's a lot on the line in that game. And, I mean, for 10 teams to be projected to get into the field for Charlie Creme, that shows you how deep this conference is.
Now, if you were a 1 seed, you might think, wow, for the 2nd game of the tournament, even though we're hosting, I've got to face Notre Dame. But still, if you're Notre Dame, you don't want that matchup.
Yeah, you don't want that at all. But
No.
if you're also a team like Duke that has bumped up to another 4 seed, 13th overall with their win over Louisville, what a game that was for them to remain, Duke remain the only undefeated team in ACC play. I mean, they're on a 14-game win streak. Carol Lawson has that team rolling.
Well, Swanson hit her 6th made 3 of the year earlier, and now scores in transition. That's 5 points for Sophie Swanson.
there is no give up. There is no quit in the Hokies. And, I mean, you see the attendance even for the people that show up. It's special to play at the Cassell.
No question.
And so there's not going to be any drop-off of, like, just laying down for NC State. No way.
Pierre does have a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds now.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. You foresee the future is quite a trick. 70-52, 5.5 minutes to go. Can you tell me who's going to win the Super Bowl today?
Seahawks.
Ooh.
By 3.
Wow. Didn't take much to prompt that out of you, did it?
No.
At least it sounds like it's going to be a pretty close game. That was kicked.
I mean, they have quite literally one of the best defenses we've
They
seen.
do.
I think the second best, in my personal opinion. I know a lot of people say the Broncos. I think the Texans were absolutely phenomenal, but just unreliable on the offensive end in the playoffs.
Sam Jones. They counting that? No. Fighting her way through the crowd. So foul before the shot, they say, and they'll take it out on the baseline. Heck of an effort, though.
I am quite impressed with the broadcasters in the stands, too. Every call that they've made and have questioned has been right, and I agree.
Yes. Knowledgeable crowd.
Very knowledgeable.
Sam Jones lost the dribble, still 5 on the shot clock. So she just shoots the 3, and Baker affected that shot. Baker, by the way, is a New England Patriots fan since she's from Connecticut, and she would not be happy to hear your Super Bowl prediction.
I apologize for no one.
Harris is from West Hartford, Connecticut.
That was not the possession that Westmore wanted from Sam Jones. Took about 8 to 9 seconds off of the clock, just dribbling at the top of the key. That, on the other hand, he likes.
That was a block by Jones and an empty possession for the Hokies.
Now, wait a minute. Who are you going? Who's your pick?
Like Tom Brady said, and I
Oh,
didn't
gosh.
believe a word
I don't
he
even want to
said,
hear it
I don't
after
have
you
a
start
dog
with
in the
that.
fight. I will say this. If Seattle wins, it will be by more than a touchdown.
More than a touchdown?
New England
I
needs
can-
it
I
to
can
be
get
a
that.
close game. And if Seattle gets out by a couple scores early, that could be the game.
Okay. Well,
But-
you know what?
But if they don't, Patriots got a chance.
I will say I was in Boston when they did the send-off, Super Bowl send-off to their team. A lot of people were braving the 8-degree weather, so that's a resilient group.
You got a guy who played in the ACC, obviously
Greg
a quarterback, who would be the youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl if they win today. And I guess you don't have to go long to find the Brady jerseys, huh?
Not very far. I just don't like, whatever.
Obviously, you're not,
Yeah,
not a
as
big,
a Falcons fan, it's something just cuts me
Ooh.
deep every time
and
I
now
hear
that says everything. And if I say the number's 28-3, you don't
Oh,
want to hear that
okay.
either.
Cut my mic.
All
We're
right.
done.
Scrum going on. Picked up by Sophie Swanson. She takes it to the rim. Offensive board and a putback by Freelon.
Yeah, I love the activity that we've been able to see for Swanson coming in. What an incredible output that she's been able to show.
Double-double for Freelon, her 4th of the year. 12 points, 16 rebounds, 16 boards.
I mean, she's coming off a 9-point game.
Second effort, Pierre.
And, okay, yes, we've seen that, but for Freelon, she's averaging just under a double-double, too. Just under 10 points, about 9 rebounds per game. She's that girl.
And
On
Freelon once again in the right place at the right time. The game has suddenly found a bit of a flow here. North Carolina, Wake Forest coming up next at the top of the hour here on ACC Network. West Durham, Kelly Gramlich on the call from Wake Forest. Wenzel, that was held ball. Possession arrow, Virginia Tech.
Possession Hokies.
So Freeline now with 18 rebounds. That has tied her career high.
We talked about Camille Pierre being the double-double queen coming into them. A little too handsy on that inbounds play, but Freelon with 18 rebounds a game ago. That was the stat line that we saw from Pierre.
It's her first personal foul. First team foul of the quarter.
Jumper from the baseline, a swish for Carly Wenzel. All right, this home crowd not giving up. Even though there's less than 2.5 minutes to go, 14-point game.
Stop and score would be huge. This is the one that they need.
Wes Moore, I thought there should have been a foul there. And I think he was right. There was a lot of contact, but they play on. 6, 5, 3 up from Zam. Good. She's done that a few times today. And has 16 points.
The masked assassin. I mean, what can't she do from the left side of the three-point line? The step back is automatic.
NC State, as we mentioned, would improve to 10-3 in conference with a win here. It'll be their 6th win out of their last 8 games.
And their first win in this building since 2022.
Yeah.
I have a feeling our now colleague Liz Kitley had a lot to do with that one too, because
Probably
she had
so.
a huge, huge bucket to win the game and seal the deal underneath. That inbound was crazy.
I think that's why the number 33 is hanging from the rafters. And here's Freelon continuing. Now at 14 points to go along with the 18 rebounds.
I mean, you don't become an three-time ACC Player of the Year for no reason.
No.
1 minute.
A minute to go here in Blacksburg.
And February has not been gentle to Virginia Tech. I know their schedule coming up is a daunting one. I know getting this one here was very important for the Hokies, for the schedule, for the standings.
Yeah, they make the West Coast trip now this week. They go to Stanford and Cal. Cal, by the way, we haven't mentioned them. They were one of the next 4 out, so they've been kind of a bubble team as well that's in the mix here in the ACC.
Yeah, absolutely.
North Carolina State does not have a midweek game this week, but they are at Notre Dame a week from today.
Circle it.
That's an ESPN game. Here's your next 5 coming up for the Wolfpack.
Yes, they have Duke coming up. They have just been a force. I mean, all season long. After the 3 games that they dropped to, of course, South Carolina, LSU, and UCLA, this is a different looking team. But do not look past that number as Camille Pierre drops in another bucket. Do not look past Syracuse.
No, I think I said this earlier. Are they kind of flying under the radar here in this conference?
I hope not. If you,
I mean, they shouldn't be, but I'm saying they don't get a ton of attention.
They
with
absolutely should. They were 3rd in the standings. Yeah. I mean, what Coach Jack has been able to do in Syracuse, knowing that so many different faces on the roster. Layla Filia, who's had impressive numbers throughout the season, but they have a freshman on their roster, Uche Azoje, who to me is a front runner for freshman rookie of the year in the ACC.
No doubt. She's a difference maker. Looks like it's going to be a 20-point win for NC State from about 2 minutes left in the first quarter to this final horn. It was NC State. And the combination of Pierre and Brooks score 50. They each had 25 of the 82 points for NC State in their 20-point win over Virginia Tech. And Westmore's squad does indeed improve to 17-7 overall, 10-3 in conference.
Big win for them on the road. Just understanding what they felt like they lacked against their home loss against North Carolina. They've turned it into a different gear with a dominant win over Florida State, going on the road where they're going to be for the next couple of games, and saying that you're going to have to come through us, in a sense.
So NC State wins it 82-62 on this Super Sunday. Don't forget, top of the order outer coming up. You got North Carolina, Wake Forest. For now, for our great crew here in Blacksburg, for Angel Gray, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Let's send it to the studio now with Ari, Kelly, and Liz.
Welcome to ACC Network Studios. I'm Ari Chambers, joined by the Notre Dame national champ, Kelly Deo, and my arch nemesis for the day, Virginia Tech legend, Liz Kidley. How you feeling right now? Because it's Go Pack over here.
You took it today. Can we get some clips from a couple years ago? You guys have those?
That's right. I think I have it on my sticky note here. Liz has actually won 4 of the last 5, but it doesn't matter because NC State is running on back-to-back wins against Virginia Tech. But NC State was able to pull away, really, after being tied with Virginia Tech, 19-19 after the first quarter. What led to their dominance, Kelly?
When you've got a player like Zoe Brooks playing the way that she is playing, I think she is almost unstoppable. And that is what happened in this game today. She took over. That backcourt in general, I thought, was excellent. And then, obviously, that inside game of Camille.
Great. And speaking of Zoe Brooks, you mentioned it. My fellow Wolfpack girlie that allowed me to get bragging rights for the day in the studio. Zoe, hey. How you doing?
What's up? I'm great. I'm always great when I come off a W.
W's in the chat. I know that's right. I just asked them, but I have to ask you, going into the second quarter, you were tied, right? And you all were able to completely shift. So what was the catalyst for that shift? How did y'all turn it around?
If I'm correct, I think we held them to 8 points in the second quarter. I think that our defense turned into offense, and when we start defending, our offense is even better.
Yeah. And speaking of defense, let's talk about that in you in particular. A career-high 5 steals for you today. Your defense was outstanding. But as a team, too, you guys held Virginia Tech to 38% from the field. So what was going right on the defensive end?
I think our on-ball pressure was really good today. I think we made it hard for the guards to, get into their game. Our post defense was even better, and together we just played really well.
Okay, and I love defense, but let's talk a little bit of offense again. It seems like UNC's defense really tested you a couple games ago, but since then you guys have looked really good. What's kind of gone into that?
I think that was just an off night for us. I don't think that anybody played to their full potential that game, and I think that really motivated us. Obviously we really wanted to beat them, but, we have to move forward and improve, and I think that we have really good momentum right now.
So let's keep going on that, because going into the season, it's been like such a non-linear path for you all. What have you learned from your teammates of how to persevere, and how can you close out this last part of the conference play strong?
I think that we feed off each other. Once one player gets going, I think everybody starts feeding off of it, and I feel like it starts with me as the point guard, getting everybody involved, having good energy, defending like I did today, I think really got us going, and, it's going to be really important for us to keep that same energy moving forward.
And I think, too, when you think about playing into March, right, you think about a team that's well-balanced. You guys have 4 players who are in the top 25 in terms of scoring. How important is that when you think about March and what's ahead, to think about the balance and that anybody really any night could have a big one?
I think it's really important. Like you said, any one of us can have a big night. We can have 4 or 5 different leading scorers each game. And I think that really helps us. It doesn't matter who scores. We all just really want to win. And I think that's really important going into March, to just keep being unselfish and, being happy for each other.
I don't know if y'all heard her. She said anytime, any place. That's how the Wolfpack does, okay? Great away from state. Zoe, go enjoy your win. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So back to your point, we heard from Zoe. Do you agree with how she said the momentum shifted for them?
I think, honestly, their dominance was so clear almost from the tip, I felt like, because, again, of this balance. They were able to get inside. We talked early on, especially in that first half, about their dominance inside the paint. That is something that they continue to do. I think the addition of Camille Pierre alongside Tilda Trieger and what they do, they're so complementary to each other. I think when they start inside and then kick it out to those threes, I think they're deadly.
Absolutely, and you mentioned all of those players they have in the top scoring. They've been waiting this season, I think, for all of them to have a good game on the same night.
Yeah.
It seems like they're getting closer and closer to that as we head into February.
And we look at Virginia Tech, and they have a pretty rough road ahead. Second strongest schedule going into a race that's going to be for the top of the standings to get that gracious double bye, right? What does Virginia Tech have to do to switch around their fate?
Yeah, look, they knew going in, as soon as they got the conference schedule, they needed to take care of business in January, because February was going to be really, really tough for them. And so far it has been. They've had a tough week thus far. But in order to get over that hump and to get more good wins, they need consistency from their leaders. They have talented pieces in Karis Baker and Carly Wenzel, and their leader point guard in Mackie Nelson. But again, Karis Baker had such a great night last game against Notre Dame, comes out tonight, doesn't shoot quite as well. I believe she finished 4 for 16 from the floor. It's going to be really hard for them when one of their best players, one of their top leaders, has a night like that.
And I think, too, just you've got to start gaining some confidence, right? You had a huge win streak, and they did. Obviously, that was stopped by Notre Dame. But I think to come out in a game like this, especially when you're playing at home and only, you're shooting under 40% in this game, they have to find a little more consistency. They have to find better shot selection, maybe a little more. Like, there was actually a time when NC State, they had missed quite a few shots in a row, and I kept thinking, okay, maybe Virginia Tech will make it and they'll start cutting into this lead. They just could not figure out a way to score when they needed to, and they'll have to fix that, I think, moving forward with this tough schedule.
And there's a way to do that, too. They're best when they get going in transition. They're such a transition team. When that's slowed down or when their defense isn't successful, it's so much harder for them to get that going, and then it's harder for them to put points on the board. Also, they're such a good team at getting to the free throw line. I believe they were leading the conference before coming into this game, but only getting there 8 times, only making 4 of those shots tonight. It's really hard for them to get offensive production when they fully rely on half-court play.